Kathopanishad. So, like you mentioned, that we are on the eighth verse, that first chapter, section 1118. Got it? Yeah. There. Then you,
Yes.
yeah, and then
Can read it. I can't see. Only can see from my reading glasses.
the Sanskrit is Asha pratikshe sangatam puntam cha Ishtapurte putra pashugansha sarvan Etad vringte purushas alpamedaso Yasyananashnan vasati brahmano grihe. The translation is, if in anyone's house a brahmana, that's a Brahman, guest abides, stays without food, that Brahmana destroys hope and expectations, the results of holy association and sweet discourse, sacrifice and charities, sons and cattle, all these of that man of little intelligence. Now, what is being kind of said here, the Upanishad itself, the sage, he kind of interjects. There's a dialogue going on between the god of death and this young boy who has gone there. And so we see that uh, we have, in the old days in India, what used to happen is the guest was considered a god. You know, it was Atiti Devo. The first, the mother, Matri Devo Bhava. So, second god is Deva Bhava. The father is a god. And the next is Atiti Devo. The guest is a god. So these people need to be worshipped rather, not just loved of course, and worshipped because they were very venerable. So the guest who comes to somebody's house and this young boy, he's there. As we mentioned, the protocol was, if the person of the house, the man of the house, is not there at home, the guest has to wait outside, not enter in the house and take it. Yeah, I've come. I've arrived. Come on. No, he'll stand out. Hands and feet are washed, is given a seat, and he's waiting outside. And he's waiting without eating. He's hungry. And then what happens? Oh, just a boy. But he is so venerable. He has a venerable father and there's a whole lineage, kind of venerable. He just cannot be pushed around, they say, or ignored or something like that. And these people, because of their spiritual practices, they were like fire. Okay. Like fire of knowledge. You see that kind of knowledge is compared to like fire. Like the fire burns to ashes things. So similarly, the fire of knowledge burns away all your faults, all your actions and everything. So yatai dhang shi samidhogni. Exactly. So this person has now, the god of death was absent for 3 days. Gods of death are, very busy. Mm, there are people people always dying, and he was busy getting all these lost souls. He has arrived, and his either his wives or his ministers, they say, this boy has come, like a fire called a Vaishvanar of fire, fire that kind of digests everything. Yeah, he's bright, with that austerities and studies and spiritual practices and all these things. So, what does the fire do in if it enters a house? They say of a stupid person. That is like of a person who's not cognitive enough that this guest has to be treated properly. So, if the person who's really stupid, what happens to his house? So it's mentioned, if in anyone's house a brahmana guest abides, stays without food, that brahmana, that boy, that guest, or any other person, is not boy only, destroys hope and expectations. First thing, humans, we always hope for many things and expect many things, and good things also. Suppose I am hoping for something. I say, hope is a poor man's bread. The person keeps on hoping and hoping and hoping. He may not get it. He doesn't know a particular thing, but he hopes. He has heard about it. Yeah, I've heard. There's something called a heaven. Yeah, let's hope for that heaven. He doesn't know. Expectation, yes, I said something or did something good. At least I expect some thank you or some kind word or a smile at least. So hopes and expectations are destroyed, burnt, as they say. And the results of holy association. There is a slight, you can say, uh, mm, alternate meaning here. Like these hopes and expectations, all like good deeds, whatever you do, they they also fructify in time. Suppose I've been hoping for something, and that person or the thing comes to me. Okay. And when it comes to me, I'm so satisfied. Ah, yeah, it's come. So what actually that happened is your hopes and expectations has brought that thing to you. Yes, it's not an you can the mind is such, it will draw that thing to you, whatever you hope, whatever you desire, whatever you expect. Yes, somehow the mind is in this aspect is underestimated. So that results of that hope and expect, first the hope and expectations are destroyed, then the very results of that hope and expectation, that also is destroyed. The other alternate meaning is given here, the results of holy association. The holy, what is holy association? Well, I go to a temple or I meet a holy person or something like that. I go, but what happens is there is an unseen benefit that comes to you. Suppose I go on a pilgrimage, or I go to some synagogue or temple or a mosque or anywhere. So that the results come to me. There's no doubt about it. And that is looked forward to by many people. There are people, oh, you've been going to, what have you got? Oh, you don't know, I've got plenty of things. How do I explain it? So, whatever you do, especially good things, when you do good things, it takes a little time to arrive. You do bad things, immediately it comes. That's the nature of the world. And so that good things that you have done, or holy things that you have done, that results also will come. But if such a person is not treated well, even that is destroyed. Then you say sweet discourse. Sweet discourse in a sense, nice word. Sundrita is there. But it is more like, Rita, I like to just dwell a little more in the Hindi hymn of Sri Ramakrishna, the first word is Om Ring Rhythm. It means rhythm is a kind of a cosmic law. So the whole universe works under some principles. These are the principles called rhythm. And when they come down or they are condensed into this world, it becomes religion, dharma. Rhythm, dharmam. And when we interact, it becomes that religion becomes more kind of crystallized or condensed. It becomes satyam, truth. That's why they say everything depends on truth. That will last. And that is why the whole universe is run on these principles. The moment you step away from that, you are stepping away from the whole. You will become isolated. You will become fragmented. When you speak the truth, do everything, you become one with the universe. Yeah, that's a kind of a great. You become one with the universe. You become one with people. You become one. And people say, "I'm feeling so lonely." Why should you feel lonely? You are with the universe. You're part of the universe. Oh, but I don't feel it. Yes, you've not been doing that thing which has been recommended. So once you can understand this, you align yourself with the whole. So that's rhythm and dharmam and satyam. Okay. That's why Buddha says, I take refuge in the, you must take refuge in the religion, dharma. What's the meaning? I take refuge. Where is it? It's hanging about, I'll hold it. No, that is also part of your mind.
Not refuge in truth.
Dharma is, it is translated, it has something that holds everything together is dharma. Dharyati, that which holds everything together is karma. And truth,
Where's the word truth in that?
it is translated also as truth.
Thank you.
That's that which gathers everything together. The kind of religion is translated as religion. So even that is destroyed. Then sacrifices and charities, my God. In the old days, we had these Vedic sacrifices, yaga, etc. So that person who it is the person's duty to perform those sacrifices. It's like you wake up in the morning and you brush your teeth. Okay, fine. That's part of your life. You don't feel so proud. Oh, today I brushed my teeth. No, that you're supposed to do that. These sacrifices also were like that. You're supposed to do that. It was your duty. Simple as that. So even that is destroyed. And charities is called Ishtapurta. Like I build, I give in charity, or I build a kind of a rest house, or build a kind of small tank where, or a lake or something where people can benefit. Anything that benefits people, charitable work. That's called Purta or Ishtapurta. Even that is destroyed. And sons and cattle, wow, children, that also is destroyed.
Mm.
Hmm. Cattle was wealth in the old days. Wealth was two, either cattle and you can say land. So even that is destroyed. What that person is totally destroyed. It means when everything, the seen and unseen, is destroyed for that person, what remains? That person is finished, gone. So such a thing can occur if a guest like this comes and he is unwelcome or he is not treated properly. So who can do this? An intelligent person, or common, it's just common sense. Somebody comes and you got to take care of that person. Simple as that. And if it doesn't, so that's why that qualification of that person of little intelligence. Oh, so what is there? He's just a boy who's come. So what is there? Yeah, really. But he's not an ordinary boy. First, he's got a huge, you can say, hoary lineage. And secondly, that person is like, has developed spiritually. So that's why this kind of fear is found in India. It was there. It's there still. So anybody comes, come, please come, and they will come and they will, you know, first give water to wash his hands and mouth, and then wash the feet, and then give a kind of a seat. Please sit down, and then this is you, meal is prepared. Now come and partake of it. This all was done so that ill fortune should not come to this person, to the house. And in case they do, then what happens? Suppose a person like this comes and that person is treated well. So good fortune, you can say, is a result. Everything becomes propitious. The person becomes prosperous. So people used to wait outside before eating to see if anybody is coming, because there were always people coming to homes for this begging of alms. It was recommended. That used to break that ego. I'm so and so. Why should I beg? No. So the three classes of people all used to go out to get food. They were not supposed to do their own cooking. The students, they did their own cooking, but they used to get the kind of stuff from people, uncooked stuff. The other two classes, those who retire, they also must be fed. They will come and they you got to feed them. And then there were the monks, the monks and nuns who went out. They don't cook and all. So they used to come and you had to feed them. So all these three classes of people depended on one class of people called householders. So the householders were very careful. We don't know what will happen. Like, Sri Ramakrishna, one time he goes to one house, and then after a brief conversation, say, "Get me a glass of water, please." And he got him a glass of water. And then, of course, he couldn't drink it, but then the very fact of offering it, because the person who brought the glass of water was of an impure character. So Sri Ramakrishna was so pure, he just couldn't touch. But of course, Swamiji goes and says, why did he not drink that water? He goes and confirms. So that's a different story. So why? Why did he? Glass of water is a kind of simple thing. No, that person, when he has come to the house, and if even nothing is offered to him, that house will suffer ill luck. Yeah, that's why in India, wherever you go, oh, please, please come in, come in. It's a kind of a celebration. Please, 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 come in. What do you like? Here also, nowadays, people have begun to understand these things. Oh, please come to a house. Come for lunch, come for dinner. Yeah. So they know the tricks. They have learned the tricks how to get kind of good fortune or prosperity or something by treating these guys a little. Feeding them a little. So it was a kind of a traditional thing over and over again. If the person doesn't do that, it's damned. Simple as that. Besides, it also was a kind of a silent message for the rest of society. Be careful. If you don't take care of such people, everything is destroyed.
We don't.
Yeah.
Are we destroyed?
You see.
Uh-oh.
When you have guests who are kind of just ordinary guests, it's
Knock
okay.
on the door.
knock on the door, and the kind of salesmen come and this and that, and now you get that. But we are talking about persons who come, who have austerities and who has holiness and who has spiritual development. Such people. Yeah,
That's the difference.
that's a big difference.
Well, you got the Seventh Day Adventist stuff. It's a religion.
More as when we were little, very little, and then a guest come, and then we'll allow, request them to come in and have a seat, and then I'll go inform parents, grandparents. The first thing they would ask without even knowing who came, have you made them comfortable? Did you offer them the seat? They didn't even know who.
Yeah, it was. Even if the householders have to go that day without food,
Yes.
because a guest has come and they have cooked for that, expected. So if you stay hungry and feed that person.
Yes.
Yeah, these families, they are these types of families in India. They used to first, and the mother of the house always ate last. Shri Ramakrishna's mother, Chandramani, she used to go around to the village. Has everyone eaten? And then, yeah, only after that, not only a house, have you eaten? Have you eaten? Have you? Okay, then I know. She used to go outside the house and the villagers and see had everybody eaten. And if perchance somebody is still hungry, her job would go to bring that food and offer it. And she will go hungry. Yeah. You don't die if you're hungry for 1 or 2 or 3 days. This boy Nachiketa, he was there sitting down for 3 days without eating or drinking anything. What is this? Oh, yeah. In India, we are used to this. A couple of days of fasting is good. It'll help you.
Today is Yom Kippur, day of fasting, day of atonement.
True, Yom Kippur, yes.
Highest.
That's the holiest, yes,
holiest
the holiest day.
Judaism.
Yom Kippur, yes.
But I'm not fasting.
I
It
was
makes
gonna say,
me
you're not
sick.
getting lunch?
It makes
You
me
say your prayers,
sick.
Yom Kippur. Yeah, kind of. Do you fast?
Oh, no, my body doesn't like it. It's weak.
But you go to a temple to pray for forgiveness for
Yeah,
all the sins that you have done
Yes,
last
yes,
year.
exactly. So
And
that
it's
is,
decided at this time, at the end of the holiday, whether you're going to live or whether you're going to die.
mm,
Yeah, the book is closed. And that book of Edith, you yourself have written.
mm.
That's and then yeah.
So
Very
you have,
karmic.
yeah,
Very-
yeah, exactly. These ideas of karma were found in everywhere. Like you say, as you sow, so shall you reap. This is the law of karma. Only in India, what happens, like we stretched it not only on this, we stretched it over and over again to a greater and greater area. If you have sown, you will reap here. Okay, suppose you have sown something here, you're going to reap here. Even if you die here, it doesn't matter. You're going to reap that. It's going to come to you. So even afterwards, but and what about before? The same thing.
Well, the monks in this order, when they're in the temple, they're sending blessings out across the world. That's feeding the world. Is this the same kind of thing?
Yeah, we are sending a kind of blessings to everybody, not only to human beings, everybody, everything. That's why when you come here in this temple, apart from temple, when you come in here, everything seems so nice. So it's suffused with holiness. Yeah.
That you're feeding people other than with
Yeah.
food.
Right.
Can people predispose themselves to receive that?
Yes, if you
Yes.
come with this attitude, then you receive that blessing.
That's what they used to teach in Tibetan Buddhism, that and to receive
Yeah.
from holy beings.
In fact, the deity itself is there. Shri Ramakrishna, he is sending blessings out. Take it.
Ah,
Yeah.
I got you.
Okay. So then Uh, having been thus told death, that is the god of death, is called death. Yeah, of course. And then, like I said, death was not a kind of a horrible, hideous thing. Death was very nice and sweet. It's a release, and it's truth. That is. He approached the young boy Nachiketa with adoration and said, uh, I'll read the Sanskrit and it. Tisro ratri yadavatsir grihe me anasnan brahman atitir namasya namaste stu brahman swasti mestu tasmat pratitrin varan vrineshwa. So the translation is thing. O Brahmana, since you have lived in my house for 3 nights without food, a guest, that is, you are a guest and an adorable person as you are. So he was a guest, number one. And over and above that, he was adorable. Let my salutations be to you. Now, this is a young boy, and this is the god of death, and he's saying salutations to me. Imagine. Yeah, but then he understands these things. And let good accrue to me. This is the idea. By averting the fault arising from that lapse. So all those things which has been mentioned in the previous, let all those things not be a fault against me. Let all my hope and expectation and cattle and wealth and sons and all these things may not be destroyed. Then ask for 3 boons in respect of each night. So 3 nights he was there without eating. So the god of death, he has the power. Say, ask for 3 boons. Yeah. there. Now things are slowly rising and picking up. And he has the power since he's there. Free. But his words itself are important. That salutations, namaste, salutations to you. You're an honorable person, and you were left like this in a dishonorable, you can say, fashion. Salutations to you, and let good befall me. Ah, that's a nice one. He knew that this guy doesn't have to say anything, or his very presence will either destroy me or make me. So this is the first 3 boons. A couple of things we need to see. So here he stayed for 3 nights without food. He's a guest and an adorable person, and he's saluting this. So he knows, by saluting, sometimes after coming to this country, you don't need to salute us now. But these people here, they will come and people wonder why they're making salutations. Yeah, so kind of Indian, and I like it like that. Don't when you are in this country, be like this. People like here. This itself is okay. So no, they will say, no. Today is this, and we need to salute you. So they will go and salute you, touch the feet. So that's one form of kind of salutations for so that that person will bring me good fortune and good luck and good everything. It's auspicious. So the word here, I want to just dwell on the swasti, because a little this there's a kind, because in the US especially, there's a kind of a revival of this swastika. we cannot understand that the word swastika is a Sanskrit word, it's an old Vedic word which means auspiciousness, which means good fortune. In Buddhism, it is the wheel of dharma, it is righteousness. All the good things have been associated with this word. This it's a symbol. And what did people do? They did exactly the opposite. Well, such is the
But
world.
it's gone in a different
Yes.
direction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Reverse.
it's a reverse.
Mhm.
So what does it matter? The symbol is a symbol.
Mm.
So and they use that same word called swastika. Swastika. I remember one time when I was kind of waiting to cross the road. There was a kind of a truck that was coming towards, and there was probably a European, two girls, not here in India, I'm talking about. And they looked at the truck, and on the truck they seen the swastika. And they were shocked. I explained, it means, oh, really? It's everywhere in India.
Mm.
On the front of the door, everywhere. It's like you see it, and it's kind of auspiciousness. It's has nothing to do with murderous tendencies or murderous symbolism. So this symbol was even earlier than the Vedic, you can say, Vedas. It's a very old symbol. Like the cross, it's not a new symbol. It's a very old, it's a pre-Christian symbol. So these symbols have been associated with holiness and spirituality and everything. And to take it and sometimes,
Why did they do that?
well, ideologies. Ideologies need symbols have a kind of a terrible hold on people's minds. You put that symbol and then you understand the ideology behind it. So you don't have to speak that ideology loud every time. You put a symbol and it means this. And how people behaved. So it's like this.
Like the cross.
Yeah, the cross is pre-Christian. Buddhists also used that. The Buddhists used this. They took it all over Asia. The swastika. Anyway, so here there's another incident in Swami Vivekananda's life. Uh, he was in a city, and there was a person who had some gifts, rather kind of psychic gifts. So Swami Vivekananda's guests and friends and all say, "Let's go and meet him. Let's see his tricks." And they go to that person. That person was suffering from kind of a fever. So he's seen a monk has come. He's saying, "Yeah, I'll show you the trick, but I have one condition. You please bless me, so I may get well." So Swami Vivekananda say, "Yes, okay, fine. Hey, they catch us with, please bless me, bless and bless." So he bless the that person. Then he stripped himself down with just a loincloth because it was cold. He put a kind of a wrapped a woolen blanket around him. And then he's bringing out roses and fruits and flowers and fresh. It's not possible that this guy has put all these things under that blanket. So, and then he wrote something and is saying, you think something, and then he confirmed. You see, what you thought I had already written, a kind of a precognition. You see, oh, so he had this. So, yeah, so what happened really? I don't know. The guy, they asked him, how do you do it? Oh, it's kind of magic. But not this magic, this kind of magic. They have some psychic powers. Another time in the Himalayas, Swami Vivekananda is there, and He's tired, he's resting in the night, and then he found the villagers beating their drums, and kind of loud. So there was a person, they bought a person to him. He was kind of, they say, possessed by a god. Not a demigod, so small god, smaller god. Uh, So that person was not feeling pain, or hunger, or sleep, or anything. He's in that state for quite a few days. And then these persons, the villagers, they heated a very axe to red hot, white hot in fire. They lit a fire and they should touch that person, and the skin should not burn, nothing. You're not injured at all. So, well, then Swami Vivekananda said, probably there's some trick in the red hot axe. So he blessed that person, and that he became normal. That then he said there might be some trick in that. That axe by now had become cooler. It had become black. He just checked whether the axe was really hot, and it burnt his fingers, stung his fingers. Well, that person was cured. Then they asked him, "What happened?" He was asked, "What happened?" Then, "No, I don't know, but my blessings worked."
Yes.
So this boy has gone there, and the god of death knows, God, this fellow is coming here. He'll destroy all my happiness, all my wealth, and everything. But the God's wealth and everything, yes. So just to counter all these things, he said, 3 nights you were here, hungry and thirsty, and you cannot be sleeping. So he was awake, waiting for the God of death to come. So I'll offer you 3 boons. This is what he does. So we have some time. We'll take the 10th verse, please. शांत संकल्प सुमना यतास्य वीतमन्युर्गौतमो माभिमृत्यो त्वत्प्रतिष्ठं माभिवदेत् प्रतीत एतत् प्रयाणां प्रथमं वरं ऋणे. So the translation is, see the magnanimity of the boy first. O death, of the 3 boons, I ask this one as the first, that my father, Gautama, that's a name, may become freed from anxiety, calm of mind, freed from anger towards me, and he may recognize me and talk to me when freed by me. There. So the first boon was he guarantees his return. So, very clever boy. But why should he have wanted to come down here? He's in a kind of nice place with the god of death and the immortals. No, he wants to come because it's probable that he understands that there is a lot of karma that has to be worked out, and this can be worked out on the plane. Secondly, he dismisses that kind of this realm of the immortals as kind of inferior to this realm. We on the opposite, we do it opposite. We think this place is horrible. Let's go there. That guy goes there, say, "Yeah, this is horrible. Let's go down here." So he guarantees his return first. And what did he say? That my father anger, because his father was worried first. What will this boy go and do when he meets the god of death? I hope he behaves perfectly. His behavior should be exemplary. And that was what distinguishes people. Exemplary behavior. If he behaves like a kind of uncouth child, the god of death might get angry. So that year on earth, he said, go to death, and the guy goes there. He's angry also. So he's agitated. Then so Nachiketa asked that his agitation, his anxiety should be dissolved, and he should be able to be of calm mind. See, that's the first thing. The child is more worried that his father is suffering down there. And the first thing that the child does is take care of my father's mental health. There you have. And so when I return, he should be able to recognize me. You know, say, oh, this guy is a ghost. He's gonna return back. Huh? Don't look at him. He's a ghost. So that's the idea. He's guaranteed his return to earth, and also that his father might recognize him, and also that he will be of a calm mind. He won't be agitated. So, so of the three boons, this was the first boon he asked. So it's like, these guys were magnanimous, though he's a young boy. A young boy, say, we don't bother about say he's a young boy, she's a young girl, he's an old man. No, the soul does not have any age. That soul has taken this body. It's okay, that's fine. So what is there? You notice no, when I think I mentioned it. When we suppose we see a young girl, she's singing so beautifully or dancing so beautifully. Won't we praise her? Won't we kind of clap, applaud? Yes, we will. That is natural. Whatever is there in that person. Where did that young boy or the young girl acquire this? Well, acquired it in the previous lives. Yeah. So that person does not matter if that person is 5 years old or 10 years old or that 70 years old or 90 years old. That person has got these qualities, and these qualities have been acquired over and over and over. So that's the reason why this god of death does not dismiss this boy as he is a young boy. What does he know, and why should I care? No, they see a little inside. They see them as souls, as spirits. So that's why it is also kind of a lesson to us. We should not be dismissive of people. A person is poor, or ignorant, or not healthy, and this and that. Oh, okay. No, we should be able to see them as kind of spirits. Circumstances has put some people in some certain positions. So that thing should not be criticized. Go through the experiences that come out. Because we are generally very judgmental. We look and we like the rich and the famous and this and that. The other day, some very famous kind of singer from India, and he came. You all there, and they coming. Hey, so and so has come. Now, I wasn't interested. So the rich and the famous and the you can say all these we are attracted towards them, huh? But what about the poor and the downtrodden? Why can't we be attracted to them? Actually, we should have. It shows how we discriminate between things. So when you have an insight into people, you know that these are souls. It doesn't matter that this soul has got a 5-year-old body or a 10-year-old body or this or that or that. That the real person is inside every time. The external things does not count at all. Yes, doesn't count at all. On the last analysis, it is what one has worked for and acquired all through all these kind of experiences. So it says we must look at people in that kind of light. So here he says, okay, fine. Three. He looked at his boy and said, okay, 3 days, 3 nights you were there, no, 3 days and nights, and 3 boons. And the first boon is this. Yes. Generally, what happens? We'll do. We'll ask the boon for something for ourselves. If father, oh, the father is there, Lord. He was annoyed and he sent me out here. He wasn't doing that sacrifice properly and all this thing. Well, no.
Right.
Yeah. There's, what happens? This is itself is one indication. How do you want to know a person? The more unselfish the person is, the more moral a person is. It's always like that. Always. And the world gives us an opportunity either to be one or the other. Either to become selfish or become unselfish. So we choose to become selfish.
So true.
And what happens is, Swami Vivekananda says, yeah, nature gives you this, and you come with clenched fist and you take. And then what nature does, she puts a hand on your throat. Now open your hand, open it, and give. So, though we come to grasp, yet we are forced into opening our closed fist. He's a closed-fisted guy. Doesn't give anything or only receiving. But nature will make you open your hand and give. Why? Because nature itself is unselfish. Yes, this whole of nature is so unselfish. We should have been studying this and understanding this thing.
There's drought, famine.
Yeah. But then, what happens is the more we can teach these things, or the nature of a soul is to actually be unselfish, really. And if the person becomes unselfish, that person suffers, he enjoys actually happiness. Everybody says, oh, I'm so unhappy. I said, become unselfish. And then you'll be so happy. So they say, no, uh, person does not, man does not depend, is not, what is it? Something like, life is not dependent on bread, but every word that comes from the mouth of God. So human life is not just eating and drinking and this and that. There is a higher aspect of that life. So once we can understand this, yeah, there it is. So yeah, we still. What about you? You not? We can still go for about 5-10 minutes. Huh? Yeah. So the next is yatha purastad bhavita pratita audhalakiyaruni mat prasrishta sukam ratri shaita vita manyu tvam dadishivan mrityumukat pramuktam. So the 11th is having recognized you, Audhalaki Aruni, I'll explain this, that is the boy's father, will be possessed of affection just as he had before. Seeing you freed from the jaws of death, he will get over his anger and will, with my permission, sleep happily for many a night. Not just he will be calm and quiet and he will not lose sleep. Not only of this after seeing you, but uh, what is important here is two things. With my permission, the gods, they have a power over minds, of course, naturally. The gods will. So you find in the Greek mythology and even in fact, all mythology, you find that the gods sometimes play with human beings like chess pieces. Isn't it? Zeus sitting on Mount Olympus, he will take one guy from there and put him there. Hey, what happened? So he grants him his firstborn, and with a little extra also. So his father, which is named Gautama, that is in the previous uh, verse, the 10th verse, the boy says Gautama. Here, death addresses him by his family name. He was of two very noble lineages. They were great sages. Uddalaka, so the descendant of Uddalaka, so it's Audhalaki. So that's the first one. And Aruni, he was the son of Aruna. Aruna also another great sage. You'll find in other Upanishads also his name appearing. So what used to happen is sometimes the the family does not have a son, so they have a daughter. So when the daughter used to grow up, she used to marry and go. But they used to say, okay, she'll marry and she'll go, but if she has a son, that son will be yours as well as mine also. Yeah. So the grandson used to have two surnames. Why was that necessary? Because, yeah, the certain rituals where a son could do these things. But if you don't have a son, well, your grandson can do this. But is your grandson competent? Yeah, it was already decided. When I gave my daughter in marriage, there I was told that he has a son, he's my grandson also, and your grandson also. That is, he will perform my rights as well as your rights also. So that was allowed. Because every time you never had sons, you had daughters, mainly daughters. So that was kind of so this very, you can say, noble family lineages of sages. Uddalaka, which you find in the Chandogya Upanishad mentioned, Aruni in the Taittiriya Upanishad. So, so that's why this person was that grandson, as they say. So he had he had to take care of two families. This the mother's side and the father's side. So having recognized you, Audhalaki Aruni, that's his father, will be possessed of affection just as he had before. Naturally, his son has just gone out to the and you think, "Oh, that guy has is it the ghost? Probably the ghost. I don't know. No, he's saying no. He will recognize you as my son because after you go to that realm, well, uh, you the realm of death, you become very beautiful, and you'll come. You might have some different features, or you might look different. So that person comes back. So, oh yeah, that's my son. And as he had before, seeing you freed from the jaws of death. Yeah, like oh God, he has gone. It's actually the mouth of death. But he has gone there, and after he gone there, he's returned. Ah, what he is now. So he will get his over his anger and will, with my permission, sleep happily for many a night. So the god kind of confers his first boon, and with his permission, the father's anger and everything has been dissipated. He will sleep peacefully. Why sleep peacefully? Yeah, the sleep is kind of important. People should think. They say there was a British Prime Minister, Margaret. Sleep is for whims. She used to say, whims. But now it is found that sleep is essential for every activity of your daily life. Your learning system and all these things become better when you're well rested. Yeah. Oh, so sleeping, sleep. So this was the first boon he asked, and this is the first boon that was given. Okay, we'll stop here for now. We'll take some questions, and the next boon is, well, you say, hell, I heard there's something called heaven. How do you like to? You like to tell me? And then the second boon is on heaven. So what happens is he has understood this world, the world of the fathers, Pitriloka, and he wants to know the other world also, the world of the gods. So once he understands these three, he's understood it. Then he'll take that last boon. What happens after a person dies? So it's simple. He has gone to the god of death. The god of death knows the secret. What is death and what happens? So he is going to ask for that. And then the god of death tries to dissuade him. And he's persistent. No, I want this and this only. And then he gets that.
So why didn't you want to say secret?
Shanti.
Because the person has to be ready to hear.
Yeah, people are frightened, in the sense of we don't want to confront death. So we don't get knowledge of it. Suppose I engage with death, then I will have